Good morning, all you people out there in YouTube land. Thrash Pondo here, and I bring both news and bequests. And I will open with the news. Now, I'm sure, as all of you already know, I was planning a show this coming Thursday. And initially, I had thought it was to be a traditional 8 o'clock show, as it seemed Mr. Sundstrom was not going to be using that 8 o'clock time slot. Well, here's the situation. As I'm sure all you know, friend of channel, the Unapologetic Geek, or Tug as we know him, has been looking into doing a crossover project with Mr. Ian and myself, and he's actually available this week, but the only time we could all coordinate was going to be this coming Thursday. And it's going to be around 8:30. So, unfortunately, so as to accommodate all of us into this upcoming project, it's going to be on robots, by the way, and I'm so excited, I can't stand it, but moving forward, I am going to have to push up my live show into a more traditional after-party time period. Not entirely sure what that time's going to be, because it's basically going to be whenever we wrap up, I'm going to pop on. So I want you to think of it somewhere 9:30-ish, maybe approaching 10, but there will be a Thrash Pondo live chat this coming Thursday, October 6th, at sometime preceding 10 p.m. East Coast time. And that is the news. Now, here's the bequest. A lot of people have been asking me, what do you intend to do for Halloween? Well, I definitely want to do something for Halloween, but I'm not entirely sure what. I thought about doing old schlocky horror movies, but one, how many times have we already talked about that? Not to mention, everyone seems to be doing that this time of year. So I want to do something maybe a little more personalized. One of my thoughts was talking about ghost stories, perhaps first-hand account ghost stories. I have a few of my own, but to actually do a whole show on it, I would need more. If you folks would like me to do something on first-hand ghost stories, the best way to do that is if you folks could submit to me some of your own, or at least ones that you've heard firsthand. Again, I want to try to make this a personal approach. If this sounds like a good idea, reach out to me. I'll reach back to you. I'll get the stories. I won't read them in a just sort of a read out loud account, audiobook style. I don't think that's particularly personalized for something like this. What I will do is I will go through all of them and kind of just sort of recount them in a first-hand regalement. I'll tell them like as a campfire story. I thought this could be fun. If you have better ideas, and I'm sure there's some out there, please shoot me a line and we can discuss other options. But that is, as they say, that. And in the spirit of All Hallows Eve, I decided to wrap this one up with another creepy classic. You folks seem to like those. And while I've had some wonderful suggestions, and I will get to most, if not all of them, I decided to use one of my personal favorites for this one. I'm sure as many of you know, one of my favorite cult sci-fi horror films is Green Slime. I won't do a retrospect on that film now, but just know it was one of the precursors to Alien and a lot of other really, really great horror movies. It also has one of the coolest sci-fi themes, which is this sort of 60s rockin' out song, The Green Slime, which has absolutely no place whatsoever in a 60s cult horror movie. So I'm going to classic its creepiness as we speak now. Now, the song was written by Richard Delvey, who was sadly we lost in 2010, R.I.P. Mr. Delvey. And he was traditionally associated with surf music. So naturally, sci-fi horror would be the next step. And the song starts off pretty darn slick. It's this very up-tempo 60s rock-out sound, and it opens with this sort of very cryptic, almost poetic question slash suggestion. Open the door, you'll find the secret. to find the answer is to keep it. Okay, so we got some pretty good, you know, metaphysical stuff going on here. And at that point, the whole thing sort of crashes into this extinction event where supposedly this contagion will destroy all of mankind. That mankind has looked into the stars for years, wondering if there's life on other planets, and well, guess what? There is, and it's here. And it's going to wipe us out, and even makes the suggestion, is this the end to all that we've done? And that's something that you see a lot going forward, that nothing is just a horrible incident. It's always an extinction event. It's always going to wipe us all out. And, you know, we're going to lose all that mankind has built. Thankfully, I've been an underachiever, so my losses will be comparatively minor. But it goes on to say that there's just some really, like, creepy suggestions going through. One of the refrains is it something in your head? Will you believe it when you're dead? So when you actually listen to the words, it plays out like something out of Halloween. I remember, this is a true story. I was watching this film as a kid, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about the Colonel and what like an uptight stick in the mud he was. And I'm cranking this movie because I love to watch scary movies loud, and of course the song at the end comes in, and he walks in, and he thinks I'm watching like American Bandstand or something. You know, oh, you kids with your transistor radios and your hi-fis. And he comes over and goes, oh, so, Robert, what are you watching? Like he's trying to relate. And I'm just like, it's called Green Slime. And he was like horrified. He's like, green slime? I don't know why he always talked. He always talked like that. I think he picked it up in the Army. I think in the Army that sounded cool at the time. But yeah, he was horrified. Green slime? Like there was no contextual connection between the title and the song, and in his defense, he was right. So anyway, if you haven't seen the movie, check it out. This is the perfect month for watching old schlocky sci-fi horror films. If you haven't heard the song, there's about 15 renditions of it right here on YouTube. Check it out. It in its own right is a great song. As I say, it's this very sort of fun, up-tempo song. But when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, what a creepy and or classic. But in any event, that's all I got for you folks today. Be good, be safe, be careful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.